ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 129 of the MTB podcast, presented and hosted by Worldwide Cyclery. I am Jared.
I'm Liam.
And I'm Trevor.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Trevor is back again. Jeff is in Austria, snowboarding or something like that.
Australia? I thought there was somewhere there.
Put another shrimp on the bobby, eh, mate? The real ones know where that's
from. He's in
from.
Austria right now?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Snowboarding.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Jet setting guy, you know that
he is Mr. Worldwide. That's for sure.
Well, he does like 2 good skiing trips a year. He did one in, where was he?
Park City and Zermatt last year, I think.
But this year.
Oh.
Where'd he go?
Somewhere in Austria.
You're all stoked on something where he went the other week.
Forgot. Oh, he went to Jackson Hole.
He's going to Jackson.
Yeah, he went to Jackson Hole. And now he's in Austria. Back-to-back bangers.
What a guy.
Of ski trips.
Well, so we got Trevor in, and this is going to be an even better podcast because we don't have Jeff here.
That's right.
I said it.
So we're talking about bikes today.
Let's talk about it.
We'll start off, in this episode, we're going to talk about the bikes and rides we've been enjoying lately, gaining confidence in new tires. A lot of tire talk, Liam. I know you love tires.
This might be a tire-heavy podcast.
Tire-heavy. Tire widths, preferences, converting a full 27.5 bike to Mullet, Kashima coated pans and cookware, and much, much more.
Man,
so much more.
Getting tired just thinking about that.
I know. Just delivering what people have come to expect from this amazing podcast. Speaking of amazing, Zach's words of wisdom, just be 1% better.
It's a pretty good rule to live by. I mean, do something 1% better every day, and that's some gains right there.
That's right. One more push-up, ride one more mile, eat one more cheeseburger.
Well, if you only do 10 push-ups, one more push-up's 10% better. So
that's right. Wow. Those are huge gains.
Quick maths.
Quick maths. Speaking of maths, this fun fact, the longest bicycle is 47.5 meters, 155 feet, 8 inches long, and was ridden in Australia in November of 2020.
Austria or Australia?
So that's Australia.
100. Okay, let's think about that.
155 feet long.
155 foot bicycle.
Yeah. Or 47.5 meters. That's half a football field.
That's crazy.
How does that work? What size tires?
Yeah, I'm curious to see what tires he was running on that.
Yeah.
Was it like a penny farthing?
That would be nuts. Well, it's a Guinness Book of World Records record, so I'm sure we could look it up and see the video of the guy riding it. And it's impressive. I want to see how far he could ride that and if he could balance on that.
Talk about long, low, and slack, baby.
Yeah. Right? Because I'm sure there has to be some sort of defined distance you have to ride, or it has to probably be 2 wheels and like a bicycle, right?
There's got to be some symmetry there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Maybe it's Mullet, maybe it's 29er, who knows?
Good for him, man.
Yeah.
It's penny farthing. Penny farthing?
Penny farthing?
That's
penny
the one
farthing?
with the huge front wheel, right?
Massive mullet.
Yeah.
Massive
OG. OG mullet.
OG mullet.
What you know about that?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever rode one of those?
No, have you?
No.
I saw there's a mountain bike penny farthing or something like that. Didn't Seth's Bike Hacks get one of those? I think or something like that?
Jeff had said he rode one. I don't know.
Yeah. Dangerous. Yeah. You can see why they don't make them anymore. A lot of OTVs back in the day.
I'd be scared about just tipping over. You're so high off the ground.
The best was the jackass crew trying to jump a snowbank, but they just hit a snowbank and just flips, just end up so hard. Yeah,
that's amazing.
That's pretty good.
Well, speaking of bikes and rides we've been enjoying lately, Liam, I know you're kind of gearing up for something. What have you been riding?
I've actually been riding. Well, I guess my XC bike probably the most.
The Ranger.
Revel Ranger.
Revel Ranger.
Yeah. Just riding that a lot. Good XC rides. Road bike, gravel bike, same thing.
Yeah, you did a banger the other day, huh?
Yeah, I did 2 back-to-back 4-hour days on the weekend, but
nice.
Dude, you've been getting after it.
Trying.
To be honest.
Trying to get some gains.
Yeah.
Gains.
Just putting in the miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just 1% more.
Just 1% more every day,
Yeah.
Just like Weaver.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, you're consistent and it should pay off in dividends, hopefully, when it comes time to race.
I'm hoping not just to get embarrassed at some of the races I signed up for this year, if I'm being honest. It's my motivation is I don't care how I do. It's just as long as I'm not embarrassed.
If anything, it's it'll give you good confidence going into the race, right?
Yeah.
You know you've done the work, you're prepared, then you're not going to be stressing about,
exactly.
Or can I do these many miles? You can already. It's it's a matter of can you perform on the day.
Yeah, and being consistent helps you perform consistently. So yeah, I mean, I don't care how I do it, any of the races. Like as an overall perspective, I have a job. I don't need to do the races. I'm just like, want to give her another good go. And,
Before you hang it up.
Yeah, I'm getting old, man.
You're right.
I'm just kidding.
No, that's good though.
But yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it is good to know like your fitness level and where you stand and like going into a race, right?
Yeah, I mean, last year I didn't fully know, and I went like 10 minutes faster for my Downeyville XC time than I thought that I could. So that kind of like sparked a bit of fire in me. I was like, oh, I went 10 minutes faster.
Nice.
I wonder if I got a faster bike and train a little better, and could I go another 5 minutes faster than that? 10 minutes faster than that? I don't know.
There you go. A little more strategy too, a little more tire puzzling. I know you said you were on a different tire setup.
Yeah, we'll talk about tires in a minute. Let's talk about Trevor's bikes and rides.
I've been a pretty good weekend warrior lately. Just days are short right now, so get off work and it's dark. So I've been working out during the week, and then honestly been riding e-bikes on the weekends. I've been riding the Crestline RS 7550. It's been pretty fun. Some trails close to my house are pretty rough and gnarly, and it's kind of the perfect bike for that. And big steep climbs, technical climb, or just a big long steep climb. So it's nice to do it on the e-bike and push on the downhill. And yeah, I've been having a ton of fun doing that lately.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good zone 2 workout.
It's like the classic e-bike tagline.
Yeah, it replaces my base miles.
I mean, and when I'm going up the hill, I'm really not even trying.
Yeah.
Like I could be staring at my phone the whole time if we're just going up a fire road. But on the downhill, I'm pushing really hard, and I'm getting a pretty solid workout on that. So
yeah.
Nice.
Doesn't replace actual riding, but I'm having fun doing it. So it's a good time.
I mean, it just depends what you want. You're getting in tons of downhill laps and getting comfy on that. So if that's what your goal is, like e-bikes are sick for that.
Yep.
Super sick.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about you, Jared?
Dude, I feel you. I've been kind of spreading the love around a little bit, Ride a little bit of gravel, a little bit of hardtail, riding the Druid. I just put those Vittoria Mazda Enduro race tires on there, and they're super good.
Big, fat, sticky rubber.
Yeah, big, fat, sticky rubber. Super good on the gnarly stuff, like on Suicide. And I was riding them up in the mountains last weekend, and
you shuttle some backside?
Mm-hmm.
How was it? Solo?
Super good.
Is there other people up there?
Yeah, a couple other crews up there. Yeah, just guys shuttling, and maybe like 2 other shuttles going like that. But the conditions were absolutely insane.
Yeah,
perfect.
I will say it's been raining a bit at home, so down in Southern California. So the dirt has been primo, and it's been fun to take advantage of some pretty good conditions that we rarely don't get. So
totally.
So the hero dirt is insane.
Yeah,
I've been like having a road ride planned, and then I wake up and I'm like, I can't ride road bike today.
No way, man.
I have to go ride the XC bike for sure. Like I can't.
It's too fun.
I can't do it.
It's rare to get those conditions, so you got to get after it.
As a mountain biker, I just can't hop on a road bike when there's hero dirt right next to me.
Yeah, my road bike is collecting dust.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. It's nice because we're getting a little bit like sprinkle here, and it dries out, and then like it rains again.
It hasn't been too much rain. Like past couple of years, we've gotten hit super hard with crazy storms, and it's destroyed all the trails, and got to rebuild them. And it's just kind of a process. But lately, it's been rain, a little bit of rain, dry, a little bit of rain, dry. So hopefully, it stays that way throughout the winter, and we'll get trails to last all winter. And see how it goes.
I feel that. Speaking of rebuilding trails, you guys did a bunch of trail work recently.
Yeah, we had a big crew go out at Rocky Peak, and we rebuilt one of the OG trails that we built maybe 7 years ago or so. So that was fun just to get all those done. There's a couple crews out there that have been rebuilding all the stuff, and other local stuff here. So been a lot of trail work in the general area lately, and trails are running pretty good. So get after it if you can. Rebuild your local trails and have fun.
Amen, brother.
Mm-hmm. It's a good time to be out there too if the weather's good and just rained, and I really enjoy that.
Slap some dirt, crush some brews.
Yeah. With the boys.
The boys.
It's pretty fun. Or by yourself.
Yeah, I did a full solo trail work day in the pissing rain the other week.
Nice. Did you go down Rat Trap like you said you're going to?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, top to bottom.
Nice. I rode it, and I was like, this is like really nice.
T to B.
Liam must have been back here.
Yeah. Good for the soul.
Yeah, T to B is fully wet, and it was raining, and I was listening to a podcast, and I was just like, like 3-4 hours straight work, and then I just hiked out. I was like, what do? You don't hang out by myself. So I just
get to it.
Yeah. I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna keep working, and then walked out of there once my hands were tired. And
to me, there's nothing more satisfying than rebuilding a whole section of trail and then going riding it a couple days later.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
It's just like amazing, and it, like you did the work to make that happen, and it's just like it's the most gratifying feeling in the world.
Yep,
it's a good one. Yeah, looking forward to when everything is all super overgrown again, and we're gonna have to all trim it back.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. That's life, though.
No,
Yeah.
but you forget about that, right? Like this whole season, if the trail's running good with and then you're like, oh yeah, in like a few months it's gonna be a nightmare.
That's why when the trails are running good, you got to just take advantage of it. If you want to just stay home, I'm gonna rest today. No, just go ride.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, you will not regret it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very rarely do you go for a ride, even if you crash, you get a flat tire. You're like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Like, no, that doesn't happen. It's like every time it's like, yeah, I'm glad I went for that ride.
Yep,
Nice.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, speaking of riding bikes, you said we got some new tools in here to work on bikes.
Yeah,
That's pretty sweet.
I got a couple new tools for the shop. We got one today, actually. It was the SRAM Universal Piston Press, which is a pretty cool tool. It basically, normally if you take like a brake lever or a soft item to push back the pistons in the brake caliper to lube them up, or just to spread them out to replace the brake pad and
Your tire lever.
tire lever. Yeah. So the new SRAM Universal Piston Press, it's a hard word to say, spreads them out evenly and safely. And I don't know, it's an awesome tool. I got to use it today and probably put a little video about it on it shortly on Instagram. And pretty excited to use that in the future and have people's brakes working primo as they should.
That's nice.
Yeah, I was so stoked when that came out, and then it took like 6 months for us to
Yeah, we ordered it like about half a year ago.
Yeah.
I forgot it even came out.
Came
I know.
today, so
Yeah.
that was exciting.
What's that other thing that I saw where you put it in the caliper and it allows you to like cycle individual pistons? You know what I'm talking about? It has like a little cutout for one or two.
That's a 3D printed part. I don't know if that's...
Yeah, I mean, you can make it. I've made one
Yeah.
before, like take a Shimano or SRAM bleed block or whatever bleed
just
block
cut it
and
out.
just get a Dremel or a file and just file down a quarter of it.
Mhm.
And then you can place it in the actual caliper, advance a piston so it goes the maximum distance out, clean it up, just get all the dirt out of it with like a Q-tip, and then push it back in, clean it up, and you can do that for each individual piston. So yeah, would advise doing that.
Pretty sick.
Yeah, just don't go too far.
Don't go too far.
And your pistons will fall out, and you have to fully rebleed your brake.
So maybe don't go out all the way or as the max distance, because you are running a fine line of getting brake fluid everywhere. So you have to rebleed it.
Man, did I do that here? Not that long ago.
I did that too.
Yeah, we've
No,
all
not the
done it.
highlight.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to do, so
Yeah.
just be careful.
I just had like a lag. Like I extended them a bit, and then I like looked away and looked back, and one was like slowly pressing back out. I was like, oh no, and then it came out, and I was like, oh.
Right.
Certain calipers you can get
Yeah.
like a 4 mil in, and it'll be pretty much the max distance. But again, when you're pushing the pistons back in, just do it slowly, one at a time, or not even one at a time, but just a little bit of each at one time, and get them back in, and just to be safe about it.
Yeah.
That's some good advice right there.
Yeah, man.
Good brake advice. Liam, what are you going to do? Do you need me to give you some advice for your Mudfest coming up?
If you can, could you straighten out my head a little bit? There's a local gravel race called Rock Cobbler that I'm doing this year, and last year there's a muddy section. There's a lot of rain last year leading up to it, and this year it looks like we're going to have supposedly what is called a atmospheric river like the 5 days before it. So
Sick.
see how the rain pans out in the next like 10 days, because I think it's only 10 days out or so. But there's a pretty muddy sections that cake up really bad, and I'm just tire puzzling hard. I'm like, do I go slick for the mud, or is the mud only like 10%? So I just like deal with it and go with the tire I want to run, which still has some mud clearance. I don't know, man.
Or as soon as you get mud on the tires, none of it matters, because it's all gonna be a mud tire anyway.
Really, none of it matters once mud's on it. It's just like for the other part of the course, is it like better to have a semi-knobby? I'm not going to go bigger than 45, so I do have some clearance on this bike. But yeah, it's like I got a 4.3 slick, 45 tire. I have a 40 semi-slick. I've got too many tires. I was telling Trevor, I'm like, it'd be a lot nicer if I was like forced to run a certain brand of tire, and I was like locked into a little bit more than having like 70 options at my fingertips I can order and have here tomorrow.
Even if it was worse. You're like, I'd rather be like pigeonholed into this tire just so I don't
Because
have
it
as
is what
many
it
choices.
is. Yeah.
Options.
Yeah, you just ride what you got, right?
Yeah.
Brung what you brung.
You know what you should do for the race that I just thought of is you should bring one of those thick bristled cassette brushes and just carry it on your pocket so that when you're riding along and there's just mud caked up on your tires, you can just brush it along the wheel.
That's
and
a great idea.
Instead of using your hands and getting them all muddy, just get an actual brush and just to get the mud off of there so you can just keep rolling real fast.
Well, a lot of people stick paint stirrers in their pockets or tape them under their top
like a
tube.
stick.
Oh.
And so if you're hiking and it's all jammed, you can still just be walking with your bike and like get the mud out from your fork and then also like scrape the bottom of your feet.
Yeah.
So that's what usually most people do is a paint stick, and then it's flat,
too.
right? So you can just like throw it back in your pocket and then dump it at an aid station. Hopefully there's no mud after that. But
that's a good idea.
I mean, between that and then I'm doing a bunch of Maxxis XC tire testing, everything from an Aspen all the way up to a Forecaster and like any tread pattern in between. So I'm just got tires up the yin yang right now.
Going a little crazy.
Yeah, just a lot of tire testing and tire thinking, and gravel is just like hard because I don't know why tire talk's so big in gravel, but like I guess it is like one of the only variables you can really change, right? Like you don't have suspension, you don't have like that much terrain to like deal with stuff. It's just like, okay, how can I roll the fastest?
It's one variable and it can give you a pretty good advantage if it's like good conditions maybe. So over someone else on the same bike, right? So
or a disadvantage, right? If you choose the wrong one.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the mud, the biggest thing is clearance. Like just getting clearance through your bike is going to be the best because, like Trevor said, once mud sticks, it's stuck. Like, it doesn't matter how good mud shedding your tire really is. Like, and let's be honest, gravel knobs are so small. I'm still under the impression I don't even know if they work. Like if you're riding a gravel knob tire on dirt, like does it actually grip or is a slick tire the same? Like these knobs are 3 mil tall. They don't bite anything.
And for all the listeners out there, if you're not racing, just ride your bike.
Yeah, I mean
it's gonna work.
Yeah,
I'm not really racing either, but
but you want to do as well as you can.
Yeah. I'm just a bike setup nerd, so
which is cool.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. I mean, I personally have found like a little knob on a gravel tire makes a difference, but only like you said if it's like slick, right? Like if I'm coming out of like one of those creeks in Sycamore, and I want to like put a little power down, right?
Yeah.
But like if you're just cruising, it doesn't matter. Like you'll still get out.
Yeah. I mean, so many of the, gravel pros run slicks at all these events. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm no gravel pro, right? What do I know?
Neither am I.
Gosh. Well, hey, this is a perfect segue into this first question. You want to read that one, Liam?
Yes, sir. How do you go about gaining trust in tires? I have some specialized tires on my newest bike that I'm not confident in, but not sure if I don't like them or maybe I'm not riding well enough to get them working. I'm a beginner and intermediate rider. I want new tires, but money, and will ride these out if I can get comfy on them.
It's a good question.
I mean, curious what specialized tires you do have, and if like they're appropriate for your terrain, right? Like,
exactly.
Are you on a stump jumper that came with like, what do those come with? Like
ground
an
control
eliminator
or
ground control or something?
Yeah, or like even that could be the wrong casing too.
Yeah, wrong casing, and you're trying to ride on enduro trails. Like, you probably need to bump up to, a specialized tire line, a Butcher or something, or, something like a Maxxis Minion or something other. I mean, gaining trust as tires is just literally cornering them until you can figure out where you're gonna slide out, and then see where that is.
Yeah.
Test tire pressure too. It's free to test tire pressure.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say is like, I would test your tire pressure, go as low as you can so that before it starts to roll. So you could just maximize the grip out of your tire and just make that consistent out of every ride. Make sure you're checking tire pressure with a gauge and just eliminate all the variables so that it's just consistent. And you can go before it starts to squirm. Once it starts to squirm, add a couple PSI and get used to them.
Yeah.
Check to make sure the casing is appropriate for your style of riding and style terrain that you're going to be riding on. And that's the biggest thing. Always, go up a casing if you feel like it's not giving you enough confidence, and it'll give you a little bit more.
Yeah. I would also say when you're saying like eliminating variables, like go ride a trail that you ride all the time, that you're confident on, first of all, and then kind of like set up your bike how you would before, I guess. And then you can kind of eliminate variables like, oh, I don't really like how it corners on this corner, like, or you can kind of like in your head, how certain tires are going to react on certain areas of the trail, right? So you can kind of think, oh, well, this tire reacts in this way. So then you can kind of compensate for those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if not, what tires were you running before? And did you have more confidence in those? Like,
yeah,
and then maybe just, it's worth whatever I guess tires are quite expensive, $180, but to swap them, like confidence in tires to me is huge especially riding, downhill, pretty gnarly trails. Like you have the possibility of sliding off, going off a cliff, like just invest in the tire that you feel confident in.
Yeah. It's worth the peace of mind. Yeah. Just to invest in a tire that you're confident in for sure.
We got another tire question. In regards to tires, what characteristics change when changing the width? Example, currently running a 29 by 2.6 on a 30 millimeter rim on a 150, 135 trail bike. What would you expect if changing to a 2.3, same tire type and same rim? Well, the first thing I would say if you change to a 2.3 is you're going to feel a lot more of the trail. It's going to become a lot less vague. And you have to be a little bit more accurate with where you place the tire. But at the same time, the 2.3 could be a better feeling for you if you're looking for that. If you kind of just want to roll over everything, the 2.6 will be good. But I personally do like the 2.3 in some cases for that kind of accurate feeling,
Yeah. I mean, in that case, I really like a 2.4. I think it's a sweet spot. Another one is you'll feel probably the tire roll a little bit less in berms or hard pack stuff, which I don't want a tire to roll personally. I don't like the way it feels.
You mean like
squirm?
Yeah, squirm. Yeah,
squirm roll. Yeah, and then you'll feel snappier, even if it's not technically faster. Wider tires aren't always slower. You'll feel like you're going faster because you feel more of the trail. So
yeah, I mean the actual like tire profile is going to change pretty significantly. Like less volume for sure. So it's going to feel like, think of a balloon. The 2.6 is going to feel like an overinflated balloon compared to the 2.3. You're going to have a lot more rubber on the ground at one time. So just think about that as in a balloon shape and kind of go from
often
there.
Those big balloon tires kind of deflect oddly on like rocks. Like they'll kind of ping you side to side if they get that weird kind of like almost like wind up, right? Because they'll kind of wind up and then like pop off. So a smaller tire won't do that. So yeah.
Also, like it's not the worst idea to run like if you do have a 2.6 and a 2.3, just put the 2.3 out back and 2.6 in the front, and you'll have a ton of grip in the front with that big round tire, and maybe a little bit more accurate in the rear, and that might be a good setup as well.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, coming from me, like I just ran 2.6s on my hardtail and I put 2.4s, and yeah, I mean, it definitely is rolling a lot faster, but the grip is still there because I got the Forecaster up front, and that thing grips like insanely good for that tire. It's like unbelievable, actually.
Sweet.
Is everything all good over here? Cool. Just want to make sure because the screen looks a little different. Sweet. Let's see. Okay, well, what would happen if I put Red Bull in my tires? This guy's asking.
Probably not very effective.
It might give you wings.
Yeah, in the wrong.
But it might not.
In the wrong way, I would say. If you've ever opened a tire and there's no more sealant, it's all dried up, and you've been maybe running through some water or washing your bike a bunch, you'll see a bunch of water in the tire, and you can tell it doesn't keep the tire inflated very well. You'll have maybe a seal from the existing sealant, but Red Bull will not work in your tires.
It won't seal anything, that's for sure.
That's for sure. Yeah.
But like worst case scenario, I guess you could like stop and pop the bead and like drink it if you're needing some energy.
Yeah, maybe.
I would not recommend.
I would not do that.
No, yeah, I don't do that.
Go to the gas station and get a Red Bull instead. It'll be much more effective.
Fine, Trevor. Gosh, your freaking logic, dude. All right, Trevor, you read one. You read this one. This is a good one.
All right. I just put new brake pads on my kid's bike. It's super small with 24-inch wheels and cable actuated disc brakes. How would I go about bedding in those pads for him? Just in general, how do you do that for bikes that are too big and are too small? Thanks in advance. So, I mean, have worked on a bunch of small kids' bikes. I don't know if I have any experience like bedding in new brakes on those necessarily, but I would say on Scott's bike. Yeah. I guess, maybe on that. I would say that go find you can ride it. Just you probably won't be able to pedal it very well. I would say go get a big hill, on a big hill, walk up the hill, drive up the hill, and then just coast down the hill, bed the brakes in. So what you want to do, if the person's asking how to do it, yes, go stop or hold the brakes in for till you come to a slow like walking pace, and then let off. Do that like 7 to 10 times, and brakes will feel great.
Yeah, it's also if you just put new pads in, then it's probably a much quicker process than if you put rotors as well, right? Like he just needs to do it for a few minutes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if your rotor's already bedded in, it speeds up the process quite a bit.
Definitely a good practice to do, though, to make sure your brake is feeling as good as possible, especially if it's your kid's bike. You want to make sure his brakes are working to keep him safe.
Definitely.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good dad right there.
If the bike is too big, however, I mean, I don't really get that problem too much because I'm tall, but I would say maybe take the seat post out and try and ride it that way.
Pull Walt Van Aert.
Rough.
Yeah, get a buddy who's tall. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Figure out a way, but get those brakes bedded in, and brakes will feel good.
Nice. Speaking of feeling good, how about an ad? And now, a word from our sponsors.
Introducing Kashima coated cookware, where culinary excellence meets innovation. Elevate your cooking experience. Say goodbye to sticky pans and burnt meals. With Kashima coated cookware, enjoy effortless cooking and cleanup easy every time. Unrivaled performance. Our advanced coating technology ensures even heat distribution, preventing hot spots and ensuring your dishes are cooked to perfection. From amateur chefs to seasoned professionals, experience the difference with Kashima coated cookware, where quality, performance, and style converge. Upgrade your kitchen today and discover the joy of cooking with Kashima coated cookware. Bon appetit!
And now, back to the show. We're back.
Let's do it.
Yeti SB165 conversion to 29/27 mullet with dual crown. Whew, sounds pretty sick. Looking to do this conversion, but before throwing down for the dual crown, I wanted to get the WWC bros advice/recommendations regarding this build. Specifically, can I put a dual crown up front? And if so, what are my limitations for travel and offset rake? What is the recommended offset travel, or what would you do? Dogs rule, cats rule, but I have both.
Dogs rule, cats drool. You heard it here first, folks.
I love dogs.
I love dogs. They're probably the only pure thing in this entire world.
I love dogs too. I got to see my family dog today. It was great.
Yeah.
She's great.
You see cats like go wake up a dog for no reason, just start beating it. Dogs don't do that. Just saying.
Liam back on his cat bashing.
Mullets, it's 165.
Yeah.
I believe the 165 is technically dual crown rated, so you can do that.
Yep. I had mine up to 203 travel. The
was
stock,
it 27.5?
It was 27.5. Stock 203, and it rode pretty good.
Front wheels 27.
Front wheel was 27.
Yeah.
Full
Gotcha.
27.5 with 203 mil travel,
So-
Fox 40. So with that said,
Yeah, going with travel, that bike's 180 front,
yes.
but going dual crown, you'll lose 10 mil. So I'd probably stick to about 180 on a dual crown going mullet.
Uh-huh.
It'll slacken it out a touch, raise your BB a touch, but it won't like chopper that thing out. So I try to go 180 on a dual crown, and then offset that runs a 37 mil 27.5 offset. I don't think they make that in a dual crown, but I try to go as close to that number as possible because that's going to retain your trail of your bike that your bike's designed around. So
Short
Which is
offset.
like kind of like how you steer and turn the bike.
yeah, I think they might make a 2.9 dual crown like a 45 offset. Well, I guess you're going 2.9, so that would be 42, but I think they're making like a 45 or 47. So I'd try to go the lowest 2.9 offset you can with 180 mil travel if I were to do that.
Yeah, because you're kind of going on the extreme ends of both spectrums on opposite sides of the bike, right?
Yeah.
They're going high raised up dual crown and low rear end. So it's
Yep.
just going to be kind of a little bit strange.
Yeah.
But that's a sick bike though.
Yeah. Yeah.
for
I
sure.
mean, I think 180, I think he could even get away with 190.
2.9, 190, I think it'll prop it up too much.
Think so?
Yeah, personally.
Or lower the stack of the stem.
Yeah, lower stack, but you're still going to be raising BB by choppering it out. That's my main. That's like my biggest concern
Mm-hmm.
is raising your BB too much because like you obviously basically a downhill bike. You want your BB to be pretty low. You're not pedaling it. You know, you're not trying to climb it over rock gardens. Like you want that BB pretty low to the ground. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that's a park bike anyway, right?
exactly,
So,
park bike or straight shuttle bike. So yeah,
Yeah.
low BBs is so good with that bike.
yeah.
Nice.
It's cool though. If you do that, send us pictures. We'd love to see that.
Yeah, for real. That thing sounds pretty sweet. I love my SB165. Speaking of forks, would you use a Kashima coated pan or cooking ware?
Well, I don't know if that's actually a thing.
Do they have?
If it was.
I prefer Performance Elite. So
Just need something non-stick.
Your performance elite pans.
I cook eggs pretty much every single morning on the same pan, and lately it's been very non-stick. No matter how much olive oil I use to cook the eggs in, and
you mean it's been very sticky.
It's been exactly. It's been very sticky.
You use olive oil to cook your eggs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could do that.
I've learned living with a fellow roommate who is Italian. You could just cook anything with olive oil.
You can. I just don't prefer olive oil and eggs.
Oh yeah, butter with eggs is really
butter.
good. It provides that nice just fluffiness almost.
I'm a butter and eggs kind of guy. But my pans are also getting worn out from the nonstick.
Yeah. I also heard you can add do a combination of baking soda and water and wipe the inside of the pan, and it should bring back some of that nonstick coating. Yeah.
Honestly, the pan's so used, I'm probably getting some not good things in my body, so probably should just get a new pan.
Yeah, you see people who they make something in the pan and they like cut it in the pan. And then it's like you just got all those like metal files in there.
My hard part is
like
Trevor, you have roommates and they don't respect your pan the way you want to respect your pan, you know?
We just use them a lot too. So.
Yeah, true. We got like 4 or 5 guys in that house or something.
It's 3 of us right now. But, I mean,
seems like
cooking eggs every morning. It's that pan's abused.
Yeah,
cooking for 5 probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Sounds like you could use some Kashima.
If they had a Kashima coated pan, I would for sure get it though. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It would look cool too.
If it could guarantee me 3 to 5 years of nonstick of heavy abuse.
That's pretty good. I got one of those, like, it's called R pan or something like that, and it's nonstick, like cast iron, and it just recently lost its nonstick, but we've had it for a few years.
Yeah.
But it's disappointing.
Nonstick cast iron.
Well, they also have enameled cast iron. So it's basically a base cast iron with a coating on it.
Gotcha.
So it has like the heat retention properties of cast iron, but without the...
I think I have one
that
of
might
those,
be the move.
actually.
Yeah.
That might be the move. I love cast iron, but the cleanup kind of sucks. So having an enamel one would be pretty nice, I bet. It keeps that heat going too.
Yeah, or if you have like a super good season on your cast iron, it's not as horrible to clean, but you know, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
We ride bikes.
I feel like you would be the kind of guy to buy a brand new cast iron and spend the weekend seasoning it.
Hey, Liam, maybe I have done that before. I actually I have like 3 or 4 cast iron pans that all need to be reseasoned, and it's going to take me a whole day to do it.
I'm the same way.
There's like a little bit of rust on there, and it's a pain.
You got to like bake them in the oil.
It's a pan?
Yeah. What?
It's a pan?
It's a pain. It's a pain.
It's a pain.
But it is a pain. Well, okay, so actually I found the tip is to use Crisco on your cast iron and season it in the oven like that. It comes out almost like super hydrophobic and like really good seasoning on there, where you probably could do eggs or whatever.
Nice. Crisco's like a fat, right?
Yeah, Crisco, it's like animal fat, something like that.
Cool.
But yeah, that's what I would do. And for your cooking tips, come and tune into the MTB podcast.
We don't know much about cooking.
Jared probably knows the most, and it's about me.
All right. Liam, you want to read this next one?
Yep. Do carbon handlebars wear out, get weaker over time, or can they theoretically last as long as alloy bars?
So isn't this the other way around? Like, don't alloy bars get weaker over time?
I think there are some UV properties to some carbon that like, I mean like 10, 15 years.
Yeah, if your bike is like out in the sun.
It might be a good idea to replace them.
Yeah.
You know, I know like, I don't know, maybe I should look in this more since I do trail one, but I know like some older style road bikes that are carbon, like from being so much sun and just kind of age, they get a bit like weaker and flexier over time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that transfers to carbon bars. I don't know if having a painted clear coat over the top changes that effect, but I'm going to go ahead and say they last quite a long time. Same with alloy bars. Like
longer than, yeah, they're going to last. The only thing that's going to break them is like you breaking them, right?
Yeah, like, if you have them after 5 years, I think you got quite a bit of use out of them, 5, 6 years, like, and if you only have one bike and, trail one carbon bars are $125, like, 5 years, 6 years, like
$20 a year.
Yeah, $20 a year. Maybe just grab a new pair just to ease your mind. But I'm not totally positive on that answer. So
yeah.
I guess none of us really hold on to a bike longer than a couple years anyway. So
no.
It's we're spoiled in that regard. But it's
handlebars.
Or handlebars. Yeah, exactly.
My seats are old.
That's true. You got old seats.
I got old seats.
Carbon rails.
Yeah. Yeah, I had my road bike seat for a decade.
Damn.
Whoa.
10 years. 10 years.
Seasoned. Not in a good way.
I bet that saddle's pretty
Well, it's probably comfortable, but-
non-stick though. It's got that gloss on it.
was, yeah.
But it ain't non-stink.
I mean, I don't think my saddle stinks, but
Hey, nobody's taint stinks, right?
mine doesn't.
So, Tia, yeah, we'll get back to you on that one. But as far as right now, no, carbon handlebars don't get weaker over time. I mean, just riding them, I don't see how that would. I don't know. Yeah, no. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back in mountain biking after about 10 years off from the sport. Used to have hardtails and got my first full suspension bike this year, a Status 140 Mullet trail bike. Raced it in the local XC races this last year. How much better / faster would a XC full suspension bike be than the Mullet trail bike I have been riding? Well,
Depends on
a lot
a couple
faster.
things.
Yeah.
A lot of factors.
It's gonna be depends on what trail you're gonna be riding and style you're gonna be riding. But if you're doing like single track, it's gonna be so much faster.
Yeah.
If you're doing downhill, it's gonna be much slower. So it just depends on what you're doing. But if you're riding normal trails, yeah, all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably quite a bit faster. Even just like what I've been riding my Revel Ranger on and just having that super fast, efficient platform, like to riding with some of my friends that are on trail bikes, like I just pull away from them on certain sections
Yeah.
of trail
It's not fair.
without trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, like fast rolling tires, you have more efficient suspension. Your bike's, is a slight gradient uphill, like you're just pushing less weight. Like,
Totally.
Yeah.
it
I
all
guess
adds up.
He does
so.
say he's racing local XC trail races. So yeah, invest the
Yeah.
money, get an XC trail bike. They've come a long way. They're so impressive now.
So good.
They're so much fun to ride, and they can handle a lot more than what they're advertised for. And I love riding XC trail bikes. It's the best.
Agreed. Yeah. And you don't realize, but like my Druid is like 10 pounds heavier than my hardtail. And like that makes a huge difference.
Huge difference.
And like I didn't even realize this until I was putting the Druid on top of Paige's car, and I was like, oh my God, this thing is like way heavier. I shouldn't do this again. I was like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
No, like last time I did this, I had my hardtail or my gravel bike. It's like, 20, 25 pounds. Like it's not a huge deal. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to riding with your friends, like, I mean, a race, I mean, a full 29er, like 120 mil bike. I mean, yeah, that's probably going to be almost 10 pounds lighter than a Status, and it's going to roll faster. It's like, literally comes down to a numbers advantage at that point. Like you can do things to your Status to make it feel faster, but it's not going to be as fast.
Yep.
Would recommend. Go ahead and do it.
Would recommend if you've been thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Liam, you want to read that one? Next one?
Yep. Hey guys, love the show. Can you talk about the pros and cons of hot waxing your chain for mountain bikes? I've been hot waxing for about a year now, and I've doubled the chain life of my 12-speed chains. Well, it sounds like you already know the pros. I mean, the cons really to any hot wax is the time it takes.
Yep.
It's so much time that I have not started doing it yet.
I'm the same way. I think it would be cool to do it maybe on a road bike or XC bike if you really kind of care about that. But yeah, I put some squirt lube on my bike, and it is a good wax based lube, and it works pretty good, and it doesn't take any time at all. So time is money sometimes, and sometimes you don't have time to wax your chain.
Yeah, chain waxing is like the bicyclist's vegan diet. Anyone who does chain waxing loves to tell you about
They'll
it.
let you know about it.
They'll let you know how much better it is, and how much time they saved, and how much watts they're saving.
Yeah.
And whatever else. And, cons is nothing because it's so much better, and, they're saving watts, and it really doesn't take that much time, but it's pretty troublesome.
Yeah.
So I have a question, and this has been like the main qualm I've had with waxing chains is like, I got a sick oil slick chain on my hardtail. And like, if I wax that, it's not oil slick anymore, right? I mean, it's going to be like white, or
No,
you can't even tell.
It's clear.
It's clear?
Wax. Yeah, it'll be clear.
The white super wax chains you see is like a one-time use ceramic speed UFO chain.
Okay.
And that has like literally, I want to say it's like anywhere from 100 to 200 mile kind of distance on it before it's worn out.
What?
Yeah, those are race only chains.
Whoa.
And there's other companies that make like color waxes and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a process to do that. You got to make sure your chain's clean, like so clean.
Perfectly clean.
And then,
well, yeah, usually, and the other thing about it is you have to invest in an ultrasonic cleaner.
I was going to say you probably need to do that. Huh?
So you want to ultrasonic clean your chain, get it literally bare metal. Then you put it in a crock pot and you soak your whole chain. You have to have it the right temperature. It's got to be that perfect little in between because you want it liquid to coat everything, but you don't want to pull it out at full liquid because it's all going to come off. So it has to like kind of cool down to this right temp. That alone to me is just like, I'm pretty patient with a lot of stuff, and that one's just a step too far for me.
If you got like a super clean bike and you just are really into details and you maybe you're bored on a Saturday, sure, it'd be kind of a fun thing to try out.
Yeah.
But to do it repetitively and consistently would, I think, get pretty frustrating after a while.
How long does it last? I don't know if I missed that. Like, will it last like a season of riding or
No.
Just like several weeks or
yeah, if that. And you still have to top it off with a wax-based lube.
Oh.
So, it'll last maybe 5 to 10 rides depending on duration and conditions. And then you have to start topping off with usually say you use a ceramic speed wax or a silica based wax. You then use their equivalent liquid wax based lube to top off your wax chain.
Okay.
So, you're still topping off lube. You might not be doing it as often, but you're still doing it like every other time you would normally be lubing your chain. So,
okay.
It saves some watts, and it does, like he said, I think the biggest pro is probably how long it can save the life of your chain and chain rings and cassette.
Yeah. You're keeping dirt out of it, and you're not attracting any additional grime and grease. Like a super wet lube is going to attract like a lot of dirt, and it's going to turn into this like metallic-y grind paste that's just going to wear your whole drivetrain down. So it's kind of eliminating that.
Okay. So if you ride a lot in like inclement weather or like you have a lot of like muddy trails or puddles you're going through, like it might be better for that.
But then it might come off
fast.
In
the water, it might still come off fast. You might need a wet lube at that point. So it's tough.
I think they make some wet wax lubes, but I've heard mixed reports on those.
Interesting.
If you're down for the process and you're into the process, do it. It'll be fun thing to do. But if you're not, then just lube your chain.
I think there's a website called Zero Friction Facts. I believe that's still operating. And that is a rabbit hole if you want to look at chain lubes and testing and what lasts the longest and stuff. I don't really think they test how fast it is, but they test how much money it saves over your chain.
Zero friction cycling.
Yeah,
very interesting.
Yeah.
So another random question about this. So if I'm like, I go for a ride, whatever, what if I go ride in the mud and like, I would just clean my chain like I normally would, and there's still going to have residual wax on there since I waxed it? Like if I degrease my drivetrain, or is it going to rip all that?
No, if you degrease it, it'll pull your wax off.
So then
you don't really degrease
so what do you do?
Chains unless you're going to re-wax it.
So if you just like get your bike thrashed and it got a wax chain, you just throw it in the stand and just don't touch your chain.
Well, I'm not a full-blown waxer, so I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But I think if it's thrashed, you probably ultrasonic clean it and re-wax it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I mean, it's tough when your bike gets really dirty. You are going to want to clean it off pretty good anyway. So it's kind of just the con of riding in the mud. You have to clean it pretty good afterwards. Otherwise, you're just going to wear out your stuff faster.
Yep.
Wow. That's a rabbit hole, man. Let me tell you.
It's definitely a rabbit hole.
I've gone down the rabbit hole and I came slightly out of that one unfazed to where I just landed on using squirt. I was like,
You've recovered?
Yeah, this one. I mean, sometimes I get so deep in them, I end up doing crazy stuff like cut off
the little
knobs
things.
on your
I wasn't
tires.
gonna film you doing that. That was insane. Liam was cutting off the little tiny things from your tires when they're new. I showed up to
work today and I saw Liam cutting the little hairs off of Continental tires today. And I was like,
doing, man?
A little judged, or judged him a little bit, but it's okay.
I mean, I admitted right away to being a head case.
Yeah, you did.
He doesn't deny it. That's right.
Yeah.
Full on head case.
But yeah, I mean, for me personally, and riding a lot of mountain bikes, I do think waxing chains is definitely leaning towards the roady gravel side. Squirt lube works really well. It's quite affordable for the long run. If you use it right, you let it put on the day before, you let it dry. My drivetrain is spotless almost all the time. I barely get gunk on it.
Yeah.
It's easy to clean. I probably put lube on every I don't know, maybe
Every other ride?
Yeah, every other, maybe sometimes every 3 rides, and like
Wow.
Really?
yeah, like you know, I'd probably say I put lube on every 6 to 8 hours of riding.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
So-
I mean, I've been using it, and it's definitely impressive. And like you said, it does keep a lot of gunk off your drivetrain that like accumulates. Like, you know, I do like the muck off stuff, but it does get your drivetrain all gunked up. And like I noticed my pulley wheels just have a ton of crap on them.
Yeah.
But
I'm not a fan of the gunky stuff. It just gets things pretty dirty, and the wax based lube kind of comes off dry. And I do a little tap test where I'll tap the chain with my finger, and if I can hear the bearings inside moving, then it's time to relube it. And yeah,
that's a good advice. Tap test. Yeah, you can hear it all. Yeah,
and it's easy. Like, you know, you do get done with the ride. Like, I don't degrease my chain almost ever.
No.
You just literally wipe it down with a rag.
Yep.
Wipe your pulleys and maybe your chain ring, and then throw another coat on it, let it dry, and you're good to go. Like,
Simple.
you know, I only degrease my chain if I'm doing a really deep clean on my bike, and that's like 3-4 times a year, maybe. Other than that, I don't degrease my chain at all.
Dude, I think you could moonlight as a squirt salesman. I just had that idea. Like, you could sell the crap out of squirt.
I mean, that's what I use personally too.
I'm about to get it. And
me and the roommates
right
use it too, and put it on all the bikes at the shop. And
I also just like the bigger bottle that it
comes in a work size shop bottle.
It does. That thing lasted like 6 months, and you work on bikes every day.
For my house, me and my roommate use it. I think she uses it, and it lasts about a year at my house. So
wow.
Mine's getting low. I'm gonna have to call them out a little bit. The roommates.
Yeah,
they're
have them throw in.
They're over lubing a little bit. throwing a couple bucks to me.
Throwing some bills.
Yeah.
Seriously, come on, guys.
The lube supplier.
Contribute to the lube fund, man.
All right.
Next
question.
Hey
guys, I have a tire question. Another one.
More tires.
Whoa!
I have a 2022 Commensal Meta HT that I adore. I'm currently running 2.8 Recons front and rear, and love these tires in the snow and mud, but it is winter. What's winter?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you guys have any tire suggestions for light trail riding in the summer for a hardtail. To have efficiency, but also some traction to give. Thanks for the help. And Bean needs a sister or a brother. Wow.
Dude, you ready to be a two-parent dad?
Yeah, dude, I am ready. You know, we talked about it. I'm just kidding. I do want another animal.
Bean's kind of lonely at home, huh?
You know, I don't know if she's lonely, but
you don't know if Bean gets along with other cats, huh? She never.
Well, it takes her a while. She's been around other cats.
While?
Yeah, it takes her about a week to get warmed up to him. Yeah, honestly, she warmed up to like my family dog quicker than other cats. I think with other cats, it's like a territorial thing.
Yeah.
You know, but other dogs are just like,
Felines.
you're cool. Like you're not in my game. You know, I don't worry about you. But
hey, do you know that bobcats are actually called Robert's feline?
Yeah, I did know that.
Robert feline.
Bobcat's short.
Bobcat is short for
Robert.
Robert feline.
That's insane.
Well, I think I can help this guy out. He's running recons on his hardtail. This sounds like a guy I know myself.
Would you just go 2.6 recon?
Well, here's the thing. I would honestly do what I'm doing right now, and that's 2.4 forecaster in the front, and I would either do a 2.4 recon or 2.35 icon, depending on how fast you want and how much traction. Because I have been like, I'm so about that combo right now. It is so good. So about that combo, dude.
Yeah.
It's super fast and just rolls quickly, and also the traction is insane. I mean, if you're riding a hardtail, you're not doing anything like death defying, right? Like you don't need. I don't know. Maybe you are. Maybe this guy is.
He's on a Commensal Meta.
He lives in
hardtail.
Squamish and he's riding. You know,
I think that thing's got like a 150 fork on it, dude.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah, he probably is doing some gnarly stuff.
Side story. I was racing a EWS practice day in Whistler, and we were riding. Everyone was scared out of their mind riding some double black trails in the opposite side of Whistler. All the guys from California were just like, how do we ride this? And some kid comes up on a Chromag hardtail and schools everybody.
Just cleans it.
Yeah, don't judge hardtails. There, some people can rip those things.
True story, dude.
I have a similar story at Breck Epic at the top of Wheeler Pass, I think. The gnarly stage. Like,
is that the hike-a-bike?
The hike-a-bike. We hiked for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then we went down a proper DH trail on XC bikes. And I was flying. I just hiked for so long. I'm just going for it. Like, didn't care about my tires. I was pretty upset, to be honest. So I was just getting after it. And
taking it out on the trail.
I caught one dude, but he was going good and he was on a hardtail. and then I passed him, and then he would just rode me all the way down.
Wow.
Yeah. And like at the bottom, we were all stoked and, high five because we got to an aid station. We were racing, but we were like, yeah, dude, that's so sick. I probably passed 30 people. But I was on a full.
He was behind you the whole time?
I caught him, passed him, and then he stayed right on my wheel all the way down. He was on a hardtail, XC hardtail, and I was on an XC full suspension.
Nice.
Yeah.
He was probably getting rowdy.
Dude,
oh, he probably was.
This is so fun.
That sounds fun.
I mean, you guys know.
I think I put like minutes on my partner.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Riding hardtail is rowdy is fun, man. It just like gives you that like rowdy feeling, like you're riding a bucking bronco, and like you're in control, but you're not. I think the edge of it.
I think if I were in this guy's case and riding hardtail, I would put just a really fast rolling rear tire and a grippy front tire, a little bit more knobby for the summertime, just so you're not going to be sliding out everywhere and you still have some good rolling speed on the rear tire. That's what I would do. Yeah,
I think a good rear too could be like a Recon EXO Plus with like a Forecaster front.
Wow.
Yeah. Or even a DHR2 front.
Yeah. Tasteful.
Maybe a sweet one.
Yeah, DHR2 is a good front tire for
that Recon EXO Plus is kind of a little sleeper in there.
Yeah, I forgot they made that casing.
You get a little bit of protection on that fast rolling tread.
Jeez.
Sleeper.
Dang, that is a sleeper, dude.
How do you feel running Recon's front and rear on your hardtail? Do you feel like you lose traction on dusty, blown out conditions at all?
No. I mean, I did the 2.6s, so not quite as big as this guy, but...
Because you can run low pressure on that.
Yeah, I mean, I was running like 20 PSI, 21 PSI in those, and the traction is really good. Just you get a little bit less rolling speed, which like when I went to the 2.4, like you really like, you're like, whoa, those 2.6s were a lot slower. Like... But the grip is still there.
Does it go back to what we were saying of like, do you feel faster because you have more trail feedback?
No, I think I actually am moving faster, like average speed. And I'm pretty sure I am.
Gotcha.
But I mean, yeah.
It's hard. It is a hard thing to test.
It is a hard thing to test, yeah.
Whatever you feel better on is the most important thing.
I mean, I feel like
numbers are more important.
Being like, you could be more precise, like you were saying with that 2.3, 2.4, you can be more precise with your lines, and like you are just rolling faster. So you kind of feel more like a scalpel than a sledgehammer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If you feel better, then you probably are better.
Feel better, ride better, look better.
Yep.
All the above, right, Lamb?
Do better. 1% better.
Do better.
If you can't be fast, look fast.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's true.
Yeah. That's right. How are we looking here? Well, I think we can jump into the notes from episodes past. This one's pretty funny. In your last episode, when you threw out the bike named Sparky, I laughed so hard that I spit coffee all over my steering wheel. I have a Scott Spark that I refer to as Sparky, much to the chagrin of my lovely wife. It's called Sparky on Strava Gear, but does not have its own social media page. That would be a bridge too far. Love the podcast. Reviewed 5 stars. Honestly, that's amazing. I love that.
You give this guy a gift card?
I most definitely gave him a gift card, and I thought that was hilarious that his name's Sparky. Didn't we say that too? It was like if I had an e-bike called Sparky. I also think that's funny because I went to ASU and the mascot's name is Sparky.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What kind of mascot do they have?
Sun Devil.
Sun Devil.
He's a super creepy looking guy.
He is.
Yeah.
They actually
tried it too,
Sun Devils, yeah.
I want to say they like tried to redo it in like the mid 2000s, and it was even scarier. And speaking of which, I don't know if you guys have seen like the Oregon Ducks the mascot. They tried to redo it in the mid 2000s as well, like early 2000s, and it is horrifying.
Turned into a Mighty Duck.
Yeah, it was like a Nike. Yeah, it was really scary, almost like dystopian. Like
interesting.
Yeah, like that thing would come and murder you in the middle of the night.
Well, yeah. On that note.
Thanks
hope you
for
sleep well.
Yeah, hope you sleep well. Don't be thinking about like computer generated ducks or anything like that. That looks super scary and murderous.
Don't watch murder mysteries before bed.
I'm definitely waking up in the middle of the night and just going to be a duck in my eyes. Just like, it's going to get cold sweats.
Ducks for the most part are really cute and cool, but
so they're trying to kill you.
The mighty ones are scary.
Geese are.
Oh God,
those are gnarly.
Don't
are those considered ducks?
Geese.
Are they their own kind of section?
I don't know what you called.
What is it? 100 duck-sized horses, or one horse-sized duck?
What?
What would you rather get?
100 horse-sized ducks?
Wait, no, one horse-sized duck.
One horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses
attacking you.
Oh, the duck-sized horses would be so cute. I would be.
One, I don't think you could. A horse-sized duck would be gnarly.
I would be absolutely horrified.
That
It would
beak?
eat you.
Yeah, I think I'm going with the the duck-sized horses.
Yep.
I could probably fend them off.
Yeah, you can kick them.
As much as I would hate to kick them.
I'm just thinking I could outrun them probably.
You think so?
There's
Dude,
a mini
horses are
horse-
so fast.
But this tall?
Dude, I bet you that thing is
Horses
fast.
also don't stop running. They can just run till they die.
That's true.
So can I. So can I.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, if you listened thus far, we appreciate you so much. And if you leave a review on your favorite podcast platform and screenshot it and send it to podcast@worldwidecyclery.com, we will give you
A gift card.
Do it.
to the website.
I don't know how much.
$15.
$15 to the website.
$15 holla. And we will see you guys in the next one. Cheerio.
Thanks for listening.
Peace.
Peace.
Love you.